Hey everybody, we are back to show you a new video on this Note 3. This is actually a US cellular version. I believe it's the same as the Verizon and the Sprint. I definitely know it's the same as the Sprint version. But this thing is definitely mangled. You can see that the frame is bent. The screen is completely shattered. So in this particular video we're going to be replacing the frame and screen. I got the assembly off of eBay. I think it was like 130 bucks. So nothing too crazy, especially on this large of a display. So we're going to be using a couple of pry tools, these nylon tools to help remove any cables on the interior. You will need a Phillips screwdriver, just a smaller one, and also use this guitar pick just in case we have to disassemble anything else that may need a little extra force. I'm just going to go ahead and take the back off of the phone here and remove the battery out. Make sure you take out your SIM card as well as your SD card if you have it in here. We're going to undo all the screws around the outside, all these silver screws. There's either 11 or 12 of them. I think it was 12 total. Now, as you know, I don't like to fast forward through videos, and I know it makes them a little bit longer, but I truly want to show you exactly what it takes to disassemble this phone rather than editing it and making it look super duper easy. So we're just going to take a little bit of time and take these screws out. Definitely a lot of screws that have to hold this phone together. Now they are all the same length, so you don't have to worry about where you got them out of the back of the phone or what position they go back into. They'll all fit back in. Now sometimes they get stuck on the back housing. You have to kind of pry them out. Either a pair of tweezers or use your fingernails to kind of get them out. Sometimes they get really stuck and you have to kind of wiggle them back and forth to actually get them to pop out. Alright, just a few more screws to go. Make sure you get the ones that run down the side of the phone by the battery. Those ones sometimes get missed when you're taking apart a phone. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is go ahead and remove the back housing here. There's a little clip that's right here at the top by the SIM card slot. You can unconnect. It'll pop out. And we're just going to pry it from the side here and kind of wiggle our pry tool across the back. Pull it from the bottom. You can see we've got a little bit of play now. It looks like this snap back down. I'm just going to use a dental pick to get underneath it and pry it open. It always gets a little bit stuck by, oh, there's our stylus. Make sure you take that out. It always gets stuck here by the volume button. If you just take it and you wiggle it back and forth a little bit, it'll pop right out for you. Go ahead and set that aside. We have the internal components of the phone. Next thing we're going to do is undo all of the ribbon cables, so we'll undo the two that go across the bottom here. One's for the charge port and then one's for the buttons on the bottom side of the LCD. Go ahead and pop this top off. Do all the ribbon cables across the top here, front facing camera, the sensors, the LCD screen across the side, anything that's holding this top logic board down, you want to make sure you undo. There's a little ribbon cable or a wire connector here we're going to go ahead and remove as well. I'm going to go ahead and start to pry this bottom portion up the charge port. There's two additional, or this little metal cap that holds the charge port on. So I'm going to go ahead and try to pull that off here. Actually, it looks like that's part of the phone. I'm just going to try to remove this a little bit more and just make sure that's part of the charge port here. Easy way to tell is if you look at it and the metal casing goes all the way around the LCD. So it looks like that is true. That is one piece of the charge port. We're going to use our dental pick to start prying up this side over here. Stick our pry tool underneath. We're just going to take it nice and easy, just rocking it back and forth. There's some adhesive that holds this bottom portion down into the phone. So rocking it back and forth, you don't want to slide it. You want to basically make it lift off of the little fabric adhesive tape underneath. What you can see, I'm going to go ahead and just push back into place here. So when we reassemble this phone, or if we're using the same frame, we could stick it down. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this wire connector. Go ahead and set that aside. Alright, now when you're pulling this frame portion out, there's a little bit of a connector that hits right where the camera's at. I'm pointing at it right here, so if you have a hard time pulling it out, make sure you pull the frame or the logic board down from that. Alright, then we have the major components removed. Now since we're doing a frame exchange, we're going to make sure we get all the pieces out of here. So we're going to need the vibration module here. We're going to go ahead and pry underneath it. I use a dental pick for this portion. These things are really put on with adhesive, some good adhesive. Stick it down. Go ahead and just pull the ribbon cable forward. Now, as we're doing this, making sure that we're not piercing it with the dental pick, we need to take out the button connector here. Just slide your tool underneath it and pull it upwards. Not using a lot of force. There's a little bit of adhesive across the back side of it. And if you just stick your tool behind it and give it a little bit of a push, it'll go ahead and come out for you. So just prying underneath the adhesive of the contact points. Go ahead and set the vibration module aside. Next thing we're going to take out is the front-facing camera sensor area. And there's a little hook, a little frame piece that sticks in here. We're just going to stick our dental pick under the side closest to the earpiece. Oh, and there it is, popped out. It is almost spring-loaded, clips on there. Once we've removed that, we can go ahead and just pull out the sensors in the front-facing camera here. There's a screw that holds down the 3.5 millimeter jack. We're going to go ahead and undo the screw. If I can get it out of this thing, it doesn't want to come out all the way. I'm just going to start to pry this up. There's a little rubber gasket that goes around it. So make sure that if you're going to pry it up, you get underneath some harder plastic to get a little bit of leverage underneath it as you're prying it. Start over here by the area of the screw. There we go. You have to pull up. And go ahead and pull out the earpiece speaker as well. And that'll go ahead and slide out that connection for us. Push out the screw. Make sure we get that set aside. Alright, we are looking good. Just double checking to make sure there's not any additional pieces. If you're doing a frame exchange, you'll want to take off the IMEI sticker as well. Look for any additional rubber gaskets or anything that might be holding it down. If you're going to take the glass off, make sure you peel back the home button as well. Now, if I do get the ability to do a glass-only replacement on this, I'll definitely upload that video. But at this point, with the frame being hammered, the LCD is broken, and the glass is broken, we'll do the frame exchange on it. Go ahead and hit the link in the bottom right-hand corner. That'll take you to the reassembly video. Thanks for watching as always, guys. We'll see you on the next video.